Berachos begins with a throwaway disagreement. Classic. So the question is, from when can you recite Shema in the evenings? And it starts very much in medias res, no explanation of what Shema is, no text for Shema, no explanation for where the obligation to recite Shema comes from, straight into it. So from when do we recite Shema in the evening? And again, the answer is given from when the Kohanim enter to eat the Truma, from when the priests are permitted again to eat the ritual meats for those who were impure and have bathed to purify themselves. Okay, so it's sometime in the evening. The Gemara will go on to say that's when the stars come out. But then the answer is continued to a question that we didn't ask, which is until when? No, I recite the Shema. So Rabbi Eliezer says until the end of the first watch. So like that's the changing of the guards on the walls. I think either on the walls of the temple or the city walls. I'm not sure yet. I haven't gotten that far. But that's Rabbi Eliezer's opinion. He says until the end of the first watch. But the sages say until midnight. But Rabbi Gamliel says until the rising of the light of the dawn. And if I remember correctly, Rabbi Gamliel's the prince of the generation, so his opinion is very valuable. Okay. The Gemara then goes on to this lovely little story. It says, once happened that Rabbi Gamliel's sons returned Mibeit Hamishte, from the house of drinking. And the implication is after midnight. They said to him, we haven't recited Shema yet, can we still say it now? And he says, if the light of dawn has not yet come, you're obligated to recite it. Cool. So I like this because of the idea that the prince of the generation had sons who were going out drinking past midnight, and the fact that we record this in our sacred oral legal codes, like the fact that the prince of the generation had sons who went out drinking past midnight. So that's really cool. And then the Mishnah wraps up with, and not only in this case, the sages say until midnight, Rabbi Gamliel says until dawn, but in every case when the sages say until midnight, it's really until dawn. The sages want to be careful because it could be that someone will wait until the very last moment and will accidentally do something that ritually really ought not to happen the next day. So the example is given of the eating of the meats, which once the sun's risen, terrible to eating the meats. But until the sun rises, it's fine. And so, as the Mishnah wraps up, if so, why do the sages say until midnight? Great. So, like the Gemara over the next couple of pages is mainly a discussion of different measurements of how we figure out these timings. There's some interesting stuff in there about when it is different people come home to eat dinner. But I think this opening Mishnah is so punchy, and it has a sense of narrative to it. I think like the Gemara is very eclectic in style, very eclectic in form. But if you look hard enough, you can see certain motifs emerge, and you can see certain parts in narrative conversation with each other. And I think what strikes me about this piece is that there's a similarity here between the first Mishnah of Berachos and the first Mishnah of Avos. So Avos is a different Mishnah which focuses on wisdom tales. And in the very first Mishnah, it gives three sayings of the men of the Great Assembly. And this is their definitive three sayings. Heaven witunim bedin, be careful in judgment. One moment, please. And it gives there the second teaching. And raise many students. And the third teaching is make a fence around the Torah. And those are the final words of the first teaching in others. And it's interesting that teaching is sort of presaged, if you will, by the final teaching here, "Kidei la'achik adam min avera," in order to distance a person from sin. But what I find doubly interesting here is that although the Mishnah ends with the same sentiment of distancing someone from sin through the fences, the story in the middle is about Rabbi Gamliel's sons going out drinking past midnight. And so I think like there's this dual aspect. There's that tension between what the ancients, or what in the study of the ancients is termed the Apollonian and Dionysian religion of that idea that like you have the faith that's built of very strict rules, and you have the faith that's built of ecstatic revelation, and you somehow have to try and marry them both in the same religion. So you got to keep the rules very fastidiously, and you got to go out drinking something. A good and blessed week, and a good and blessed Gemara cycle.